Okay, so today we have the session, practical session on your MCSL 229, right? Where you have two different books. The initial session is more related to your cloud computing, that is session 1. I'm just going through with some books and let me check again. And we have some data science part as well. So we have another session 2. Okay. Session 1 to 4 with your R language. I'll just share my screen. I think that would be better. I hope my screen is visible to all, right? So I have two different books. One is for session 1 and another is for session 2, right? And I was just looking for today's part that it's mentioned that we are supposed to do today from session 1 till session 6. So that is from session 1 to session 6 under MCSL 229, right? So this is your book 1, which I have in my list. This is your session 1, and this session 1 is related to your cloud computing lab. I hope means did you ever tried a cloud computing lab? And is it a part of this book? Because probably you have a new curriculum. So I have this book with me. So we'll start with cloud computing if you want. I don't have any problem. Let me quickly come to the end, I believe, because there we will find all these sessions. See, you can find and you can figure out certain sessions are there, the practical sessions, because this is more practical oriented. So some practical sessions are there. So starting from session 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 sessions are there related to cloud computing. And at the same time, I'm looking for data science. I believe this is for data science, not for cloud. But I have two good books for this. This is session 2 of data science lab, where we are supposed to do with R Studio, and we are supposed to do a lot of practicals using R Studio and various algorithms and various different methods which you need to process using R language. And in this case, again, if I'll go to the bottom, for practicals, I found there are only 8 sessions. Okay, we have 10 sessions, right? Search and implementation. So we have 10 good sessions again in this particular regard. Uh, See, session wise exercises are there. That is 2.4. If you will see, I think this is page number 11 out of 15 pages. I'm on page number 11 in the data science lab part, right? MCSL 229, where in this particular part, you can see session 1 to 4. So we have certain exercises which we are supposed to do. And then 5 to 6 we have, and then further a lot of questions are there in between. So you have to solve many questions. And then we have session 7 to 8 and more analysis using R. Then we have certain more questions under session 7, 8, and then further 9 to 10. So I think we are supposed to do this data science, right? Cloud, probably you have already through with that, or you might have a some. Is it in the same book or say in the other one? Because the the practicals which are mentioned, and that is only from session 1 to session 10. Now, which session 1 and session 10, is it from data science or from cloud computing? So two different books I have. That is section 1 and section 2. Two books are there. And again, under that, we have many sessions. So probably I think we'll start with this because it will take a lot of time instead of cloud. We can go with this. I think this is for data science, it is required. And your practicals are more onto it, right? So shall we start? I hope the concern is clear to all. Do you have two books or you have one book that is for related to data science? MCSL, I'm talking about MCSL 229. Yes, please. Yes, Priya, you want to say something? Okay. So let's start with the, I think, a data science model, and probably you will be able to learn what is exactly required. So I'll take you. Okay. Now to start your data science part, I hope you all are comfortable in some programming. Did you ever tried some programming or not? And what about R language? Anybody did some hands-on onto the R language?
Python only.
Python, huh? Okay. So just to update you all that you have a R language also in your syllabus apart from Python. So I prefer you take these common questions and you are supposed to do all these common questions in R or Python, right? Obviously, for a real time scenario, if you're really working somewhere, it is highly recommended you should do some good hands on Python, right? So that is always recommended, but R language is equally important, and many organizations are looking forward with the R language. Now, how to start with the R language? I'll just give you the idea because it is quite more easy to process and to do the activities with R language. I'll quickly take you to one of the link. First of all, to start with R language, I think you all are freshers with R language. If I am not wrong, you all are first time you are supposed to start with the R language, right? So if you are doing any R language, now what is R? R language is basically going to support you about the it's a basically a scientific language open source product, and support you for specially various type of data science and data analytical process. So there are a lot of inbuilt methods similar like other languages, like similar you can compare with the Python in fact. So you will find that most of the things were quite common over there, but only the syntax is different, the way of processing is different, and the day you start working with R language, it becomes quite easy for all of you how to handle with the R language and all. The other concern with the R is like because the product, if you download, there is a one application, one IDE called R Studio. So you are supposed to download the R Studio, and then you have to process, and then you have to start with that particular part, right? but R Studio is quite memory intensive, and it you need good space to process the things. And because you're just going to learn it and do it our language, say let's say for your exam purpose or practical purpose, so probably for this month or next month you will do good hands on R, unless and until you will not get a good job on R language. So you will not required anymore after 2 months or so. So, right. So the purpose is at least you should do a proper hands on, which is a good part. If you are not ready and you have a less memory, because I have seen most of the laptops are today on NVMe hard drives, and NVMe like 256 or 512 gig only. And in that case, you got a good speed, but the memory is less. And I think R language, R Studio, there is a software called R Studio. I'll show you a software called R Studio. Okay. So if you download the R Studio, say there you will find R Studio. If you go and download, I believe it will take a lot of memory and all. So it is open source R Studio IDE, right? And even say you can find that you can go and download the R Studio. The present version is 3.6.0, right? That is what like the present version, and you need R Studio to process with the things. And I think you can see it's a 319 MB, but the moment you install, then you need some more space and all that. But in case you feel that yes, we are supposed to do, then please go ahead. That's not a problem. Otherwise, I recommend one more thing, right? I don't know whether you are comfortable or not, but at least today you are supposed to be more comfortable on the latest technologies. Have you heard about, because cloud is one of the parts, so I'm just sharing that part also to you. I think that is also one of the part. Did you ever try to work with a virtualization or containerization model? Say in case of cloud computing, you are supposed to understand that it's not always tier one cloud providers like Amazon, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure and all that. These all are the cloud provider with a lot of different services and resources. What I'm saying, can we convert our machine using the concepts of cloud computing, like especially the concept called virtualization or Docker images, like it is a concept called containerization. So try to deploy the containers on your machines, try to deploy virtualizations on your machines, and make a virtual process and deploy these applications over there, so that later, in case if you want to remove, it is quite easy to remove the entire platform, right? So what I prefer, and I would like to show you, first of all, I am not using Windows, so please I'm actually on this operating system. This is one of our operating system, Sedulity operating system. This is from my company's name, and we are the India's first company who designed the Indian operating system, and we filed a patent in 2011. Right. So we designed the operating system for India, and many organizations are still using this operating system in their infrastructure or so. You can, I hope you heard about Linux, right? So you can take it just like Linux, like you might heard about Ubuntu or Red Hat or Fedora or other CentOS in corporate world. So similar, like there are 5,000 plus versions of Nix family of Linux are there. So 5,000 plus Nix are available these days. I don't know you heard that or not. Even your Android, your iOS is Linux, right? Or your Mac OS is actually Linux. So the front UI might be different, but on the backbone, the real kernel of the operating system is again Linux. Purely up to you what you are using. I hope you might mostly people are having Windows platform, so hardly matters. I have a different layer. So what I'm showing you, my purpose is like on the base machine I have a Linux, and apart from that I am using a virtualization. So I'll give you at least some basic idea and you can start working on it. And this is what a concept of virtualization. I use Oracle VirtualBox, or you have a VMware workstation or PlayStation sort of proprietary. That is a proprietary product, but Oracle VirtualBox is 100% open source and you can try. Where I have already deployed Windows 10, let's say I am into a security domain. I did my PhD in cybersecurity, and I am working from last 30 years in the domain of security, forensic science, AI, and various other areas. I wrote more than 25 plus books, and 5 plus PhDs were already awarded under my supervision. And every year, almost 10 to 15 MTech students also get awarded. So I'm into research, I'm into academics, I'm into law enforcement, I'm into corporate. So these are the areas where I'm focusing. So again, even in my laptop, this is the way how I used to work, because every time probably I need Windows 7, the older one, this is on Windows 10, or I need Windows 11, or I have my own OS, different operating systems where we are testing, we are doing a lot of work. So whenever the operating system, this is a concept called a hypervisor. I hope you heard about in cloud computing called hypervisors. Hypervisor is basically, there are two types of hypervisor, type 1, type 2. Generally, type 1 hypervisors are used in the data centers where they don't have a booting process. Your computer starts once you power on the machines, and if the type 1 hypervisor is already there, it starts the machine. Okay, the moment it starts the machine, okay, and you will get many different virtual images, and you can start any operating system. So these all are the guest operating systems. So I will name it as guest OS. These all are the different guest operating systems. Okay, and the host operating system, probably you have Windows or you have Mac, I have Linux, I have Sedulity OS. So hardly matters, right? Any OS, whatever is there in your system, you can go and use it. All right. So these all are the guest operating systems. So try and understand that how you can build. For that, at least you have I believe at least 8 GB, minimum is 8 GB is required actually. But because today Windows 11 itself need a 8 GB and all. So highly recommend that your laptop must have at least 16 GB RAM. Then only you can make multiple platforms, and you can perform multiple platforms in one go in one laptop. So as and when required, you can create, or if nothing is required, suppose I don't want this, I can simply go and remove the entire operating system, the entire data, entire application simply removes. So I really recommend, highly I recommend that you should use this VirtualBox. Now this VirtualBox is working as a type 2 hypervisor. Now what is type 2? I'll explain you. The base is a host OS, and host OS already have the drivers and hardware interaction is already there. On top of it, I deployed Oracle VirtualBox, which is acting like a type 2 hypervisor. On type 2 hypervisor, we deployed the guest operating systems. So these all are the guest operating systems. I just need to click and I can start my operating systems as and when required, and I can perform multiple tasks. So even you have your base machine as a Windows operating system, do not install your like RStudio or other applications directly on your machine, right? Because it will take a lot of time and memory and unnecessary. Every time it used to start with the backend services and taking, so you are going to kill the performance of your system. So what is the best practice? As and when required, you go to the VirtualBox. You even create a Windows. I'll show you, like I have a Windows in this way. I start this machine for you. So this is what Windows 10. So I just starting a Windows 10, and you can see in my machine, in my laptop, I have now two different operating systems. The base should be more clear and neat and clean. Do not deploy multiple servers, multiple languages, multiple IDEs on one machine. Otherwise, your machine would be, you're killing your machine unnecessarily. And suppose you are just going to work for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and afterwards you might have a different language, different area or a domain where you are supposed to work. then why you unnecessarily going to deploy things over there, right? So you can see now what is happening. A Windows is going to load. Now this is Windows and Windows is booting, and meanwhile my operating system is already there. It is working fine. So I'm here, and at the same time I can use a Windows. So now two operating systems are running in my laptop. There you can deploy RStudio if you want, or anything, whatever you want. So there I can use whatever the applications you want. It simply works like it's a concept of emulation, right? This is a concept called as emulation. So I just started like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Simply it seems to be like in your laptop you are supposed to do. Don't you think so? And good performance. I have only 16 GB RAM. So now dedicated 8 GB to my host OS, and 8 GB I dedicated to this virtual OS VM. And you can see I can create a files. I can make many other resources, which whatever I required I can utilize. Understood. So if you really want to install RStudio, I recommend you better to create a one VM. In Windows, you make one more Windows, nested Windows. And in nested Windows, you install RStudio. You got my point. So that what is the best practice? Because if you deploy, then I think your base machine would be different. And as and when required, then only you start, then only the memory occupy. Now I just shut down, my memory is released, the entire memory, entire resources comes to my host OS. So this is the best practice you can try, right? But in case if you have less memory than 16 GB in your computers, so practically what is the best practice I recommend? Then go with containerization. Now, what is the process of containerization? I'll take you to the containerization as well. And now try and understand what is containerization. So instead of that, means either you deploy this, or one more thing, can I go with the like you have, today we have a web-based interfaces also available. Like for Python, probably you are using Jupyter, right? So even you want to download R language with Jupyter. Jupyter is a web-based interface, right? So R language with the Jupyter, right? So you might heard about Jupyter notebooks. So Jupyter notebook is nothing but it's an interface where you can download R language with Jupyter, and it's a product of Anaconda. They provide you web-based interface, and the moment you install, so there you will find the list of the commands that how you can install Anaconda, and then you can start working. This is again better, I would say, as compared to RStudio. Reason, because in RStudio you are supposed to work only in your machine. But if you are working in the corporate world, right? And even for a Python, you might heard about this Jupyter. For Python or for R language, if you have already downloaded and installed the Jupyter in your machine, the benefit is there you will get a link URL, and you can share the URL within the LAN, so that multi users can contribute in your research work or in your development work. So how multi-user interaction is possible in one programming, in one development? So in that case, we can share the resources through browser. You will get an interface and you can write your code on that. So it is again recommended. You will find how to run R language in Jupyter using Anaconda and all. Many videos are also there. I think you can go through. You will find what are the solution, what are the best practices. Apart from that, I personally recommend, apart from these different IDEs from R language or Python language, I recommend, why don't you start using the concept of containerization? I personally use containers a lot. Apart from type 2 hypervisor, I also use containers. So you can see my system in my, this is my Linux machine, so probably I'm using more on command line, but you can have a Windows, and on Windows you will get a GUI applications. I use one of the software called Docker. Now, what is the purpose of Docker? Docker is a concept of containerization where, where you have the host OS, then you have a containerization. And in containerization, we don't want the guest operating system. So you are going to skip the guest operating system and directly you want to run the applications, any servers, any backdoor applications like databases, IDEs, or any interfaces like Jupyter, as I said, or why not RStudio, sort of everything in the form of containers. So what container will do, they fetch all the relevant resources from your host operating system and give it to the application whatever is needed. And for that you have to learn how to implement Docker step by step, and everything is required. Okay, so you need to figure out where is the Docker, how to perform a Docker, and you need to check. Even right now I have a lot of images. I'll show you how many images are there. So I personally use my one of the databases there. I use AI agenting part, that is n8n. I have a, for data science, I have a Jupyter, right? I have MariaDB database separately. I want multiple versions of databases. So I want an older version for one of my project. I need 5.6 MySQL database and the latest version 8, I think, 8 or above, in fact, in MariaDB. And even in PHP, I need 8, I need 5, I need MariaDB. So you can understand I have multiple databases as per the need. So no version conflict. Even you want to download everything on your machine, base machine, then there would be a version conflict. Now you can only install one application with same version in one machine only. But I want multiple versions and I want to do multiple activities parallelly on a different application. So in that case, what is the best practice? I never install things on my machine, base machine. Better keep your host machine always empty, always blank, without any operating system or third party applications, unnecessary taking backdoors and all. Make your host operating system as secure as much as you can, and try to avoid installing applications on the base OS. Whatever the application you want, either you take the concept of containerization or take a concept of virtualization. So I also use many servers. I want I'm into a security. So for web application auditing, mobile apps auditing, I have a different platform. I have for React, I'm also working on React development phase. So I have a different platform. I need many Olama. I have an offline data set, LLM model, and I want to make my own LLM model separately for a certain task in AI. So I have a separate Olama on my machine and working completely on a different track. So I hope you can understand, to install many things on one laptop, it would be a big challenge. To handle everything, it would be a big challenge. So what I am personally using, my machine is always best with high performance, no challenge about resource utilization, booting time, taking time to start and getting a desktop. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that, although I have overloaded with many such applications in my laptop. So similar way, you can also start working on Docker. What I prefer, today is Sunday, and I think if you really want to go more in depth, you must watch a concept of Docker. What do you mean by Docker and how to work? You will not take more than 2 hours, take my words. So please, free, you get free from other activities. Spend initial good time how to learn what is Docker. Just try to learn a Docker, and on that basis I believe you can do many more things and learn how to perform a Docker, right? So what is the concept of containerization, how to perform that, and then once you are through with that, very very simple, what we need to do, I'll show you. I need Docker, and the best part, you need not to install everything by your own, only you need to download. So I need a Docker image for our language, right? For our language, with Jupyter or a regular way, whatever you want, you can find and you can download the image. So this image, you will find the list of the image from their official repository of the Docker, that is hub.docker.com. You will find Jupyter with R notebook. Are you getting my point? You will get a simple Jupyter with R notebooks and all. So there you have a R notebook, and all the almost the common libraries, whatever is required, is pre-deployed over there. So simply the best part, I just need to run a Docker, a one single line which I need to run, entire R notebook, entire Jupyter, download it to my machine, and I can run R notebook on my machine within a fraction of seconds. Only I need to run this command. So run command, it will search that I want to run the application where I'm going to map a port number, because they'll provide you a one link, and that link is from the particular port number. So localhost, 8888 is a port number where you will, once you start, you can work. But my concern is it is not in my machine. I don't have this notebook. You must have seen right now how many images do I have. I have a Jupyter notebook, but is it compliant to our language or not? I'm not sure. So even you want to go for, or you want a proper Jupyter notebook for our language, separately you can download by just running this command. Obviously, you need to install a Docker before you start running this command. Okay, how to install on Windows, you must have to check. So what happened, complete R notebook or even R studio, you want, probably you can write down R studio and you can get a R studio IDE in a Docker also. So within a Docker, one single line would certainly help you how to proceed with this particular part. All right. And then simply you just need to run this command and your Docker is ready to go, and you can start writing your R language. So first concept is how to perform this any interface, on any interface for any programming language, how to deploy, how to proceed with that, and how to interact with that. So that is the basic part, right? How to proceed. I hope now you understood what I'm talking all about. Is there any doubt to anyone? Any doubt?
Sir,
Yes, please.
I have question. So we are running this Docker on cloud network or on our virtual machine?
Yes, it is running on your base machine. No virtual
Okay.
machine, no cloud, no internet cloud required, no credit card required, nothing required. Because if you go to any cloud services, you need to map your credit card and they'll ask for a services and many other things. And then only you have to create a virtual images in the cloud. This practice is like on your laptop, only you need to install either means up to you. Either you can deploy both. I deployed both. Either you deploy, if you want operating system, multiple operating system, and the application where you feel that no, I want operating system, then go with VirtualBox. Otherwise, if you just want to go with a particular application and you don't want to spend more memory for a operating system, then I recommend go with containerization, and that is Docker. Right? Only you need to download a Docker, and afterwards, whatever server, whatever database, whatever the things you required, you can simply connect with Docker from your host operating system, and offline or complete offline. Only one time you need to connect with their repository to download that image. That's it. Afterwards, simply it's all yours. Got it, Amarjit?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Great. Yes, Priya, you also want to say something? You have a query? Priya Yadav, do you have a query? Okay, I think her mic sometimes uh, open by default. No problem. That's okay. So I think you're quite aware now how to proceed and how to implement the things at your end. by using these services and these applications, right? Now one more way. So I'm showing you the ways how you have to install the things in your laptop. Now you have to check whatever best and convenient for you, right? One more way. We don't want to install anything on the laptop. Even probably most of the many students might be connected via mobile, and there might be on roaming, sitting in the metro or in the car or in some pool cab or somewhere, sitting somewhere, and probably they are attending this session, right? And they'll say, "अरे अब तो घर जाएंगे, then we'll open the laptop and then तब देखेंगे होगा या नहीं होगा," and all that. Still, without any resource, without installation of any IDE, can we run our language or a Python language? So the answer is yes, you can do. We'll provide you some online interfaces. So I'll guide you one more way, that how to run the R language and what is the best practice to learn the R language, and so that you can do a lot of practicals out of it, right? So what is the best practice? Don't install anything. Means if you don't have such things, no need to go for it. Probably you are on tablet or you are on Android phones or iPhones, and you don't want to install, and you are looking that no, my operating system is not compliant with Docker, or probably you have old machines, right? So in that case, again you can do the programming, so there is no excuse, you have to do the practical. What is the best practice? Just go to one of the website. Now you can see my screen. Just go to the another next option. You can use one of the website, very very important, very good website for the beginners. There is a concept called W3 schools. W3 schools, okay, with R language. You want of things for R language. So just write R programming, W3 schools R programming, and press enter. There you will find a one website without login. Without login, you simply go and open this platform. However, they are asking you for sign in and all, but no need to go for sign in. In fact, almost all the common languages are there on the top. Even databases and languages are there on the top for your practicing using uh, Python, or many, like you can see pandas for Python, NumPy, how to interact with Excel or learn Excel. Even you want to learn React, you want to learn MySQL, Django, right? Node.js, AngularJS, Git, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, ASP. Many languages are all free of cost for you for learning. If you're done, if you're through, you better you make a registration, and in case you have to submit some certificate, then probably they are asking for $95. So it is, again, 95 is quite a high amount, I would say, because 95 today, if you will take it, I think 9,500 rupees approximately, right? So you have to pay somewhere 9,000 rupees to just to get the certificate. But yes, otherwise the training is completely free. So all what you need to do, on the left side, you will get all the ways to learn from the beginning, starting introduction of our language, get started, what is the syntax, how to write a comments, variables, data types, num, mathematical strings, and all those different libraries. Then your programming, loops, operators, if condition, while loop, for loop functions. So I think if you just go through from the left panel, you will see it is quite easy for you to learn the R language. And for the some advanced techniques like data structures, vectors, list, right, matrix, arrays, data frames, factors. So you will get all these things. For plotting, for graphs, you have R plot, R line, scatter plot, pie chart, bar charts. So almost all the charts. Apart from that, you will get a statistic methods. So many statistic methods are there, like a data set, how to handle data set, minimum value, maximum value, mean, median, mode, percentile, you can calculate by using R language. And some good examples how you have to practice and all that stuff. So at least you will get some basic idea how to perform R language. Understood? Now, why I'm saying so, because let's say in R language, let's say you simply write the syntax something like this. Anything where you have a string and you just mention a string, or let's say I'll simply write 5 plus 5. So 5 plus 5 is basically going to implement. Now in case of Python, even you need to write a print statement and all. Where in R language, you need not to write anything. You simply write pass the data, and once you pass the data, you will get a proper output like that. Right, let us try to run it by own. So there is an option called try it yourself. The moment you click on try it yourself, now you can see you write a code on the left and you can see the output on the right. So you need not to install any IDE for basic while sitting on the mobile. Any, even you're watching TV, and on your TV, on your smart TVs, you have a browser. So just open it over there, and you can even from remote TV remote and your on TV also you can learn our language if the browser is there. So hardly matters, right? I don't want to write a hello word. I want to write let's say welcome to the igno session of MCSL229. Suppose I want to write like this. Okay. And I don't want this, let's say I want 10 minus 5. Suppose I want something different. And if you click on run, the moment you click on run, you make manipulation on the left side, and you can see the right on the right side, you will get the result accordingly. So you can change the content on the left side. So this is your editor, sort of the IDE, sort of. You make a manipulation over there and find the result on the right side. Don't you think so? This is quite more easy than installing any other thing. So by default, as I told you, either you have to go and install the R language, R Studio, if you really want to do the practicals and all. Otherwise, go with the virtualization or containerization, install Docker container, which is offline, which is always the code is always with you, which you can keep it offline and you can get the output also over there. And even if you are not comfortable, this is for your containerization of Docker, what all the command you need to run, and you will get a proper code. If you are not comfortable with that, still directly want to get into our language, and your system is not compatible up to that level, or you at least have mobile or a tablet, hardly matters. Simply open the website w3schools.com/r, w3schools.com/r, and on the left panel you will get the options. On the right side you will get what is this mean all about, and get the introduction. Start output, like let's say I want to go for a plotting. How you can go for a plotting from the value from 1 to 10? And is it so easy that just write a plot method and it actually creates a plot for you? Yes, it is. It is. Simply you have to go and click on try it yourself. Just moment, though, you just need to tap to that. So you got to output, and even the file which is created in the PNG file for you. So it is a bitmap file, out.png, and even you can go and right click, you even download that images. You can save image and you can copy image, etc. So plotting, plot method is there simply, and you can plot. Is it really difficult? I don't think so. I don't think so. It is difficult. Now, only what you need to do, you need to write your method, write your code on the left side, and just click on run and see the results on the right side. That's it. And if it is okay, take the output, keep the code with you, save it with the .r extension or whatever you want, or and the images, if it is generated with image or with some output, I think you can copy in MS Word or any document, or even in your mobile you have notes. So keep that data over there, save those files, and your code is ready to go. Is that so easy? Don't you think so? Is it easy? I think it is quite far better than any other, right? So,
Yes, sir.
so yes, you have to adapt this part with open mind, and then I believe would be really helpful. Step by step, click on home and then go to bottom, and go to bottom and then go to next. Next means again it goes to now intro, or you can tap on left panel as well. So there, now what is R language? Introduction of R language. It's a popular language for statistical computing and graphical representation, analytics, visualizing the data, compatible with all the platforms, all the different type of graphs quite possible, statistical methods are possible. So probably there are many other statistical applications are there, like have you heard about Tableau? Have you heard about Microsoft? Also, one of the uh, software. There are many software. SPSS software from IBM, right? There are many such softwares are available. But if you want customization, if you want your own logic, then R language or Python language, both are quite good to go. It is open source, free of cost, so you can directly download on your machines. I recommend do not install it on your official computers. If you got some, if you are working and company allotted you some laptop or so, do not install any third party applications on your company's laptop, as it is a violation of your company policies. It must be the part of it. So don't install that. You need to practice, and that is why you install. Don't install, simply you open and access the link over there and practice online without any installation of any IDE or so, if you are using corporate network, corporate digital gadgets. All right. So this is the way. What is R language? Why we are using R language? I think now the concept is quite clear to all of you. They have many inbuilt libraries, methods, functions, pre-deployed. Only just you need to remember the name of the method and pass the argument. The result is there for you. So no high complex model, nothing like that. Right? Is that clear? So get started. Let's go to the started part. Now, how to install? Yes, there is a cloud.r project, download R version. This is what recommended. If you download it is better. But if you don't want to install, simply you can run. I think I have given you the complete way. What are the installation models? Okay. So this is how it works. Come to the R syntax. Now, what is R syntax? R syntax is like simply the output goes to R, even if you write anything in the single quote or double quote. So it means this double quote or a single quote is adapted, and it is to be considered as a string. So if anything which is within the quote is considered as a string, single quote or double quote hardly matters. If it is without quotes, if there is no quote as such and you pass any numerical value, it's simply considered as a numbers, right? And the calculation is directly being done. So you have already seen these kind of things. Okay. Now printing. If you really want to go to the print part, directly you mention it works fine. However, the R does have, they also have the method called print. You can try print method also, similar like Python. Without print method, again by default it considered to a print method, right? But in the same pattern in R language, you have the method called print method. Doesn't mean you can skip, means up to you. It's optional now for you, right? So if I want to keep it in the loop sort of, so can you write a for loop where x is the variable, n is the method, and so this is the syntax like C or C++ like syntax without a semicolon or so. And there you have to give the range starting from 1:10. So you have given the range, begin the method, and print x variable. So this is one of the way. And remember, you have to again work with indentation like in Python. So always try to work with indentation. This is indentation. You have to give the spaces before you write any code. Okay. So this is the best practice. If anything which is within the if conditions or loops, and also make a proper indentation so that it consider as a whatever the part is the nested to that particular, to their parental statements. Okay. and conclusion that you can use a curly braces, and print method is there for you. So you can simply try, click to OK, and see you will get the result like something like this. You make changes, you can find the result accordingly. Right? Is it difficult? I think it's not difficult for all of you. Now it is quite easy to all of you to understand what is this all about. How to place the comments in our language? So placing comment means you can start with a hash. Anything, anywhere, wherever you will write a hash. Let's say first I need to define a string, and along with that, because comments are very, very important in terms of programming. I don't know whether you really work with the international development teams or not. For every single statement, writing the comment itself is a valuable part. How others can understand your code unless and until if you'll not write the comments. In India, I have seen very few people are working with comments, but no, the real development companies are onto it, and they always ask for comments. What is the purpose? Why you are writing the statement? Give the comment on it. And each line is paid, and comments are also paid if you're getting the code, let's say paid by line. So comments are also paid into it, and you have to mention what is the purpose, why you are writing this code, so that it becomes easy to understand, and even also easy for debugging later for yourself, and for production team can also understand that, okay, this is what the data is all about, and this is the purpose of this method or this statements. Okay, so hash, you can simply start with a hash, would be considered as a comment, right? uh, if you talk about the multi-line comments, like you must have seen star, hash is star, in like various other languages I have seen, where you can define a multiple languages, but in our language there is no as such multi-line comment model. Just you need to insert hash in front of each line, or any statement further which you want to mention, you have to write hash, then the entire line to be considered as a comment, right? So no multi-line model like in Java or Python or other languages. In our language, you only have to place a hash for a comment. Is it good? Hope you are getting all these points. Then go to the variables, how to define the variables and all. So the best part, you need not to define any data type of those variables. And now assigning operator, you need to understand the concept of assigning operator as well. The way you declare the variables in C, C++, Perl, Python, PHP, that is also there in our language, but we have a very unique feature in our language. In our language, we have a directive symbols. Are you getting my point? This is a kind of a directive symbol. Please find the highlighted one. Okay, this is nothing but called as a directive symbols, where we are redirecting the data to the variable. So no need to define what is the type of the variable. Let's say name is the variable, and in the name I need to define. So generally, what is the way you write? Name equals to John. So you define, you use a assigning operator. That is equals to is a assigning operator in other languages. In our language, we have a directive symbol, and the best part, directive symbol from left to right or right to left is possible. The directive symbols are right to left, and even left to right is also possible. Are you getting my point? So you need to understand in our language what is the best practice, how you are supposed to define. Let's say if I'll run this code, you can see name, and this is how directed a John name to the name variable, and numerical value to the age. But if I'll do this something like, okay, if I'll define like equals to, and if I'll run, now what happened? As you know, equals to generally, again the output is same. Output is same because our language also support your assigning operators as well. But the unique feature of the R languages, you are supposed to define the directive symbols so that you can define the data left to right or right to left. And okay, hope this concept is clear to all of you, right? And let's say this is the age, and if I want age plus 10 if I'll take it like this, something like this, to the variable, let's say uh, old, older, kind of a variable. Let's say if I'll go in this way manually, and if I want a older to be printed, then what happen? Let me see. Let me see like this. Is it possible? See, you can see this. It's a 50. So it means directive symbols are either always, your data always in C or other languages. What is the best practice? Your data goes from right to left. Always in the programming, we always follow that the data is moving from right to left. But these directive symbols in our language provide you the way that you can even transfer the data from left to right. It is also possible. Are you getting my point? In this way, you can also assign that your data is moving. Now you cannot write equals to. Obviously, we need directive symbols. Understood? So in this way, the data is moving from left to right also, and you can print the data on it. Is that clear? Any doubt? Any doubt to define the variables? Yes, please. Any doubt? Is it good to go?
No, sir.
Great.
Yeah. No,
Wonderful.
sir.
So I think if you practice something like this, you will understand that how things works and all. So you got various different types of variables now. You can define concatenated variables. How you can go for the concatenation? Concatenation means you can add a multiple stages or add some data. Let's say awesome is gone to a variable called text, and now R is awesome. So awesome variable is there. So comma separated. You can go with the paste method, and it paste means concatenate the string comma with the data which is coming from the other variable. So there is a method also called paste method for concatenation to join two or more elements, and the data is comma separated, right? In the same way, you have text one, you have text two, and you can go with the paste of text one and text two. You have values in numeric, simply you have a plus and it displays you the result, right? Where if you try something like this, you will get an error because this is the numeric and this is a string. Now if you will do something like this, it would give you an error because non-numeric argument to the binary operators. This is how it is showing you the error. So always remember your data type must be similar, and then only you can do this, you can perform it. So what type of errors being generated and what is the best practice to go with? So remember how to go with the paste methods, and even without paste method they'll do the calculation for you, right? If I'll go with the multiple variables, so in case of multiple variables, let's say orange is to be placed in var3, the value of var3 is to be redirected to var2, the value of var2 is being redirected to var1. Now if you will print var1, var2, var3, then what would be the answer? So just take a look. Orange, orange, orange. Understood? So you can understand that this is the string which you redirected to the var3, and the value of var3 is again being redirected to the var2, and from var2 the value goes to var1. This is also in one single statement. You can redefine your variables and you can redirect your data from one place to other. In case you want to go with a variable name, so what are the ways to define the variables? Now, what is the legal variable name? I think you know, any string is fine. Underscore within a string is fine, right? Even you mention it with the uppercase. Okay, that is fine. Even you take it with the alphanumeric is fine. Even you take it with dot and variable is also fine. But illegal variable names, like if you are going to start with the numeric, then alpha, no, it won't work. Hyphenation, it won't work. Space won't work. Even you're starting with underscore. Like in Python, we can start with underscore, quite possible we can define, but in our language, no. Starting anything with underscore won't work. Within the string, underscore is fine. Like there you have an underscore. This is fine, but this is not fine because you're starting with underscore. That won't work. The wild letters like alpha, at the rate, and all won't work, right? Don't use true, false, or logical operators or any other operator as a variable. That is also illegal. So the way how you can define the legal variables and illegal variables, because true, false, none, if, these are the reserved words within your uh, in their syntextual part of our language, and the variable case sensitive, and you can understand that how to define the variables. So you should know what is the right way to define the variables and what are acceptable and what are not acceptable. Even we want to go with the data types, so let's go with the data type. And at least you should practice how to you can define some data types. So if you simply define any numerical value, automatically it is being considered as a numerical part. If it is starting with a double quote, so automatically it is a string character type, and that character type variable being defined declared. Otherwise, you should know some basic data types. So numeric, if you have numeric, what are the values accepted? Decimal values are also numeric. Regular values are also numeric. Comma separated value, or like any number is also numeric. Integer variable is also for a long letter, long numerical values, where L declared it as an integer. So 1L. 1L doesn't mean 1 lakh. 1L means L is a symbol for declaring that it is an integer variable, not numeric. Numeric is a simple number, and integer. So it's one is a number, one, but L indicates that it is an integer, right? For complex number, like you need a power statement, or 9 plus 3i, where I is the imaginary number, right? If you have any imaginary numbers and all, so I means it's an imaginary number. So that is a complex characters which you can define. Characters, double quote, fine, double quote, fine, double quote, fine. Anything, whatever you want to mention, must be either in double quote or single quote. That is fine. That would be considered as a string. For logical operator, you have a keyword called true or false. So you can find what is the data type. So for that, there is a method called class method. There is a method called class method. You declare any value within the variable, and you can access the data type of that variable. So that is by using class. So you pass any value in any particular format, they'll give you what is the class. So class is a method and it gives you the output. Let me show you. So you can see the first one is the numeric value. We use L. L means it's an integer value. It shows I means it's a complex number, so it displays you the complex number. In double quote, it is a string, and true means it's a logical, so it displays you the logical one. Got it? How to run a code, and how to identify what is a type or data type of that variable. So this is the way even you want to identify the data types. And sometimes you got an error, like you are going to make a combination of numeric or string, then generally it gives you the error, and you will find, array, I don't know what type of this data type and why it is taking such data type. So for debugging, if you want to identify their data types, you can use a method called class. All right. So this way, I think if you start working one by one, then you have numbers. Numbers also have three different stages. One is numeric, integer, and complex numbers. How to deal with that? I think you can write, assign, and you can identify their variables, values, and variables. Mathematical terms, so all operators are practically possible. You can try uh, this simple operators, and even we have a method called max or min, and you separate your all values in comma separated values, and out of that they'll identify which one is the maximum number or a minimum number. So such inbuilt methods are there for maths. You can use string for string to find like how to redirect, how to define, and in this way also that you are redirecting a big collection of data. Let's say we have a paragraph, or even why not a book content. So starting from double quotes and ending with the last one, and even in multiple line, that goes to a one single variable, and you can simply display the value in that variable. You can use one more method called cat method. So basically, if you want the line breaks, you want line breaks, let's say categorized to be inserted at the same position in the code, you can use a cat method to print that data. So you can try like cat, and you can see it is into the different, as whatever the way it was written, same way you will get the output. It is not in the single line. But if I'll write, okay, str along with the cat, then you can see the difference. See, the initial part is in the different form, and just afterwards it is in one single line. Okay, so cat means find the format of the line statements, and based on that, if you want in the same format, you have to write a method called cat, categorize your lines and statements accordingly. But if you just simply write string, it is a one line single statement, and it displays you the data like that. So string length, how many letters are there? So nchar method you can try. Check the string, grep L function is there. The character of the sequence of the characters are present in the string. How many letters? Let's say you have hello word and grep L, let's say H. So how many times that H presents over there? Or hello presented in that string, or X presented in that string. So you can figure out. Combine two strings, paste method already we are through with that. Escape characters. So escape characters, like that would certainly give you the error, because if you start with a double quote, and if you want again double quote inside, it won't consider as a double quote. This is to be closed. This is now considered as a closed one. So it's better in this case, you should use a single quote, and or otherwise you can use a black backslash if you want to print a double quote. Let's say I want to print a double quote. In that case, in similar like C++, you do the black backslash. Just place a backslash in front of a double quote. Then it won't be considered as a closure. It would be considered that I want to print a double quote within the string. So these are the escape characters, right? So in this way, this is the right way to present your escape characters. And now it covers everything, and it displays you the data. For that, you want to print backslash, use backslash backslash. You want a new line, you can use backslash n. Same like C++. So backslash r, carriage return, next line. Tab, you want to give a tab slash t, and backslash slash b. So some code escape characters are there, which you can try in R language. All right. I hope now you're quite through with these all the methods, how to use. And if condition, you can see the if condition. Let's say a is equals to 200, and b is equals to 33. So a is 200, b is 33. If b is greater than a, display the message that b is greater than a. Else, display b is not greater than a. So a and b is similar like C methods without semicolons. Don't use semicolons for terminating the statements. Rest the entire syntax is like C or Java or any other OOPS language, right? So this way you can try Boolean, if statements, and Boolean statements greater than, less than. So operators, plus, minus, multiply, divide is same. Exponential value for modulus, percentage for the modulus, and integer division, that is percentage slash divide, then percentage. You need like x percentage slash percentage y. So you can try something like this, you will find the result for arithmetical operators. Right? So you will find many operators and you can try whatever the way you want. For comparison operators, again, similar to equals to, not equals to, greater than, less than, greater than equals to, less than equals, similar like you use in other languages. Logical, like ampersand, that is a bitwise operators, if you remember. So and operator, so element wise logical and operator, return true or false for ampersand, like similar like in C and C++. And operator is different, and bitwise operators are different. So pipe or pipe. So this is a regular for strings, and operator also, but for bitwise you can use ampersand or single pipe or not. So in that way it works. And you have a colon where you can redirect the range, that 1 to 10. So for that, if you have a series, you have a range. In that case, you can define 1 colon 10. So x automatically becomes an array. X become an array where x carries the value of 1 to 10. All right. Same way, you can define, find out the element belongs to that vector in the method, or matrix. So you can go with a matrix of two different x cross x matrix if you want, and you can create something like this. So in a simple line statement, you can convert your entire data and place that data into the list or the collections. There you have list, vectors, collection, matrix at the bottom for handling complex data structures. Right? So I think I gave you at least a good idea how to start with the R language, and how to go with the data structure. So everybody, I think today just go through with all these steps right now. Keep a rhythm. I think you should practice all these points, and you can do R language quite good, and practically you can perform well. Well, if I'll see your book now, I'll come back to now your book, what they ask for. Okay, so session wise exercise which you need to do in our studio, they said, but I think now I have given you multiple ways how to perform. And you have session 1 to session 4. I think we'll do this later, unless and until you don't know how to handle a vector. So the first question is again how to create a vector of size 10, 10 vector size. How you will do this? How to create a vector size? Now, having the value, suppose you have these values. Now, compute the sum, mean, highest, and lowest of these values. So, you need to find min, max, right? And mean value, mean, median, mode. You know, mean, median, mode, and min and max methods. So, you just need to use those methods. First, you declare the list, the vector, and define these methods and compute the length of this vector. So we'll compute what is the total number of values are there. So length. Find the variance and the standard deviation. So you should know what is the formula of variance, and variance square is equals to then underscore to the variance. Actually, variance square is there. Standard deviation equals to variance square, or so standard deviation is equals to under root.
Sorry, standard deviation equal to under root of
Under
variance.
root of that. Yes, I'm coming to that only. So standard deviation is under root to the variance, right? So you need to know those mathematical formulas first of all, and then you are supposed to calculate the values of the data within that vector using the formulas for the variance and the standard deviation. So compute these values by computing the variance and the standard deviation using R method, and sort also these arrays in the descending order. So I think you can understand only your question one gives you a lot of statistical methods, right? And they just want statistical data set. You have a huge data set, suppose, and how you can handle all these things by using R language. So it's not difficult, but only the way how to handle it. So for that, again, you need to go with what is the way how to create the vectors. I think you go there, how to declare the vectors, and just go and check, can we create the vectors? Understood how to create the vectors. right? So vector is nothing, it is a simply a list of the items that are of the same type, of the same data type, right? So for that, C is the method. You have a method called C because if you have to create a vector, so create your vector like this and you will get a one variable where you have to pass on all the variable values. So already the values are given in your question. Where is it? Yeah, here. The values are already given in your question. The size they have already mentioned. They said that you have to create a vector. So can you create a vector now with, let's say, x variable or any other variable? In one single statement you can do this, right? And you can print that data. And further, once the data, and suppose you have a range, so again you know how to define the range. If you have a different variable starting from the range, like in this way, that is also good to go. You can define, right? And numbers range, and you can print all those values. Okay. And even you have a logical values, so you can define logical values. If you have a string, you can define like string. And how to find the length, vector length? Simple, there is a method called length method. So there is also a question that you have to find the length of your vector. I think they somewhere mentioned how to find the we have just read that lowest value length. Compute the length of the vector. How you can compute the length of this vector? Very simple. You just need to use the length method, right? How to sort? They are also asking you for sorting. So there is a method simply called sort. See, it's too easy to go for it. Whatever the maximum complex things even they mentioned, for writing their question, they need to write many times. And we want to sort the array, we'll have an array and we can simply go and sort it. So there is a method only got sort, right? And there you have a way that how to sort the numbers or a string and accessing your indexing value. So if you want to extract any value from the index, so you can extract the value from that index and you can get the output. Let's say this is what if you just try, you can see the fruit first is banana. So it is not starting with 0, it is starting with 1. Please note down. Generally in programming, we used to start with 0, 1, and 2. The output in this case is 1, means the first value only. So few things which you need to memorize, and then only I think you can work out and you can find all the outputs on that basis, right? So try all these methods. Even you want to create a list. So in case of list, you have a word called list. List is always, dynamic list. Okay. And vectors are just like arrays. So anytime you can add, you can delete, you can overwrite, or you can find the length and so on. You can try this list as well. So it's generally like a different data types also. Even it's a collection with the contains a many different data types. Where in vectors it has to be a similar data type. You can see it's a similar data type. So the major difference, I think now you got to know what is the difference between vectors and the list. So there you will find that the data type, and you can have a different data types. A list is contained of the data which is ordered and changeable. So ordered and changeable, it is like dynamic memory arrays. List, linked list in like C or C++, linked list. So it is list for that particular regard. Dynamically you can add and remove. In vectors, it is just like an array with the similar data type, right? How to handle it. And in case you want to deal with the matrix, then what is the best part of the matrix? Matrix means the n number of rows and n number of columns are there. So how many rows and columns you can define? So let's say I have a vector where the value is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now I have a vector C method is to declare a vector. Afterwards, comma, in matrix method I place the data set. First is data set, comma, how many rows you want, comma, how many columns you want. So what would be the output? Rows, you want 3 rows. So, and column, 2 columns. So 2 column, first 2 column means, so on matrix 0 comma 0, the value would be 1. 0 comma 1, like in generally in array as we used to say. So it is 2. But again, then we have another row, one row. So not 0 0, now it's 1 0. So in 1 0 you will get the value 3. So it is like in this way. I think just let's say we'll see this result. I think you can find out something like that. Now, one more problem with this. Your data is vertically transferred, not horizontally. The data, so obviously no 0 0. In this case, it's all 1 1. So first row, first column, second column, first row, second row, third row. So it is always starting from 1, not starting from 0 0. So that you have to take care. Second, another part, whatever the data set you have mentioned, the data is not spreading in the row format. It is spreading across vertical. So it spreads across vertical. So 1, 2, 3, the first column is to be filled out and then second column is to be filled out. This is the way how the data is to be circulated in our language. And then finally you have a matrix and print your matrix. So please try and understand the arrangement of the data, how the data being get arranged into it. Not the row side, it's on the column side. So that is what you need to check and verify how the data is to be placed. All right. So few differences are there as compared to other languages. But yes, I think now you can figure out what is the way. What would be the output for 2 rows and 2 columns? So is it apple banana in a row or apple cherry in a row? Is it apple banana in the row, in the one row, first row, or apple cherry? Because the rows are two rows and 2 columns. So please cross check again, and you can see it's apple cherry, not apple banana, because the data is to be placed vertically. First they fill the column and then they goes to the next column. Wherein generally in other languages, the data filled in the row, and once the row is completed, then only the data goes to the another row. So in the R language, data filled vertically rather than horizontally. I hope now the concept is clear how to handle and deal with matrix. So if you have a data, I think again in your paper, they are asking somewhere matrix was there. No, that's a simple variance and standard deviation. Is there anything related to matrix? No, not at this stage, but probably in the further a lot of other questions you might find it out. So the things which you have to notice and you have to practice. So just go through with that. Give me a minute. Okay. All right. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. So I think you understood now how to deal with these questions and practical part of these things. And once you are through, that is why I said, please go through first. Today is your job to understand the things thoroughly and please practice the content accordingly. And you will find the results so that it becomes easy for you to handle it. Right. And then how to access the matrix, how to retrieve the value of those matrix. I think the way you can try and you will get the results on that. Right. So if it is 1 comma 2, so 1 means the first, let's say we must go through 1 comma 2. So first row and second column, obviously the first row and second column on the top, that is cherry. So the result is cherry. That is correct. So it is in the same pattern. But if you want the whole row to be accessed after comma, right, the row, if you want to access row, so first you mention the row number, then comma, and then you will get the proper row. So you will get banana comma orange. Let's say this is your second row, that is banana, and then there was an orange. So the data is like that. Understood how to figure out? So first you should mention the entire row if you want a row. So then place the row number, then type comma and leave the other things, you will get an entire row. If you want a column sort of, and in the bracket here you have a, if you want column, so your row must be blank, then comma and 2, and you will get a proper column. So your column value is like obviously the second column you want, second column, so it is cherry, and then it is orange on the top in the column way, right? So this is the way, these are the two values in the second column. Okay, and that is why you got to output something like this. Got it? How to work, how to proceed. And more than one row can be accessed if you use C. If you have a method C, so vector, declaration of the vector function C. And now let's say you have a matrix where you have a data C and you place some data. And now I want to retrieve the data, something like this. So I want the vector in the form of, first is row,
Balaji.
Sir, the
and
voice
in row
is intersecting
I want
another
1
person.
comma 2.
काय कीवर
Someone's
विचार करू द्या थांबा.
Amarjeet, please mute.
विचार करतोय थांबा. झालं.
Amarjeet,
या.
yes, Amarjeet, please mute yourself. Thank you.
Sorry, sir. There was call. Sorry.
No, no problem. That's okay. Okay, so this way I think you can find this matrix, and even we can identify the multiple rows and columns from that. Now let us assume what should be the output. You have 3 rows and 3 columns, so 9 values, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9 values are there. And now we want as a row we want 1 comma 2 and the entire row of 1 comma 2. So entire row of 1 comma 2 means what? So you can see 1 comma 2, it means you are going to retrieve multiple rows and columns. Consider as a one single row. So you are placing it within a vector. So 1 comma 2, right? And that is the entire row. You want to retrieve the entire row. So entire row being retrieved. Okay, and this is how you can find apple, then 1 2 3, then orange, then 1 2 3, and then pear. So apple, orange, and pear, that is in one column actually, and that column of first row, first column being fetched. This is first row, first column, and then first row and second column also required. So first row, this is first row and first column, and you have a value called banana, and then you have a value called grape, and then you have a value. I think I'll just show you something, then it becomes more easy for you to understand this matrix. Let me just print first of all the regular matrix, and then we'll retrieve the value from it so that it becomes easy to understand for all of you. So first you need to find what is the matrix. The matrix is again apple, banana, cherry. So apple, banana, cherry in the column, right? Orange, grapes, and pineapple, then orange, grape, pineapple in the second column. Pear, melon, and fig, that is in third column. Now what we want first row, uh, in the row we want a first row with the first column and second column. So what is this all about? So it's a range where we are supposed to extract, and now you can see we got the output. The first one which is being fetched in the first row, the entire value, so that is apple, apple, and then orange, then pear. So there you have apple, the first one, then the first one orange, and the first one is pear. So it is displayed something like this. So apple, orange, pear, right? And on the second row, so in second row also it is displayed that from second one is banana, and then you have a grape, then you have a melon. So it displays you something like this. So you can define the range starting from 1 till second row within the form of row and all the columns. So all the columns are there starting from first row to second row. You can define the collection of the data, something like this. Now if I'll do something different, let's say if I'll copy this and if I'll do it something like no, I'll start with 2 and I'll close it with 3. Then what happened? Then let's see. So you can see, I believe now it is from second row and third row. Understood what we are supposed to do in this way? So you'll find the range, the how the range being displayed within that range. Understood? So even you can try and make some changes over there and you can see the results so that your logics are more clear and how to operate the matrix as well. So this is the best practice I think you can try. I think you can try this. Now, if you want to add more rows and columns, if you want to add more rows and columns within the matrix, so there is a method called cbind method. You can find a one cbind method. Already, let's say you have the matrix, and now with cbind method, within the same method of cbind, you're adding one more vector. So you're adding one more vector. And now you will print, you can find one more additional, I think, the data set within the existing matrix. So you can try something like this, or R bind and C bind. C bind is more for columns to be added. There the C bind is C for columns and R bind is for the rows to be added in the matrix. So two methods, R bind or C bind. You want to add a column or you want to add a rows. You can place the extra vector within the matrix and I think you can perform. And again, you can retrieve the collection of few of the data out of it and redirect and remove the data. Removing means, let's say we'll fetch the data first of all, and whatever the data extracted to be overwritten to the existing matrix. So obviously it overwrites, and that means the rest of all the rows and columns being removed. So C method, C method also helps you to remove, where C is basically we use for extracting vectors, right? Or we use the vectors or we extract the vectors. So C is actually extracting the data by using C method. And through that, it's minus C actually they applied, right? And out of that, you will get a proper data and remove the first row and first column out of it. And rest all the methods, so it's minus this and minus this, the first row and first column being removed, and rest all the matrix being redirected again to the same matrix variable. So you can remove the rows and columns like this. Okay, and if check each and every item if you want to extract to find out if the specified item is present in the matrix or not. So you need to find out whether, let's say, Apple is there in the matrix or not. So you want to find whether Apple is there in the matrix or not, right? So in method, in operator is there. We learned in operator, percentage in percentage. So Apple, is it in within that matrix? So no need to apply loops and everything. Simply you have an in operator would actually fetch the data and present and print that data. Yes, it's true or false. The result is always in true and false in this case. So the return is true or false, right? So how we can use in operators. So please try these operators, very, very important. So dim is basically, dimensions we use in VB. I remember dim method was there in VB.NET. Long back, we use a Visual Basic language. So dim was used to declare the array or dimensions, we used to call it. in VB language, VB or VB.NET. But there you will see the find the number of rows and columns within that matrix. So how many rows and columns? So dimensions, again, it is nothing but to identify how many rows and columns do you have in that dimensions. So 2 rows and 2 columns, it gives you the dimensions, right? In VB, it used to create the dimensions. Here, it used to extract the dimensions. So that is the basic difference. Length method, already we have identified how many length. So that gives you, again, to find the dimensions, we know how to check the length of any vector or matrix. So loop, yes, you can try the loop, like for loops and nested for loops. Say you want to print or to extract the values as per your need. So even we can place it in the loops. So rows, in 1 : the total number of rows of the matrix. And in columns, we have from n1 to nth columns, as much as it was. And simply you can get the prints of rows and columns of the entire matrix. Already we know to add rows, it's R bind method, and C bind for column adding. So you can go with the, if you want to combine two matrix, you can use R bind and C bind methods to combine the rows and to combine the columns. So we can try like this. I think that's it in matrix. I think you can learn a lot of things in matrix and you can perform then accordingly. Right? You have arrays, you have data frames. So array is nothing, it's again C method used for array, as we use for vectors. All right, create an array, it's a function. Array method is there also. That function creates an array and the dim parameter to specify the dimensions. So let's say I have a vector, and that vector is within the variable called, let's say, this array. And now what we are supposed to do, let's say we create one array, and an array with more than one dimension. So we'll place that vector, comma, the dimension which you have mentioned, that goes to multi-array, and then it prints your multi-array. Let's see. I think you will get the output something like this, you can see. Right? So I think you can figure out multiple arrays being created from the value between 1 to 24 is the list of the array. So your array list is very long. You have 24 values, and obviously 4 cross 3. So 12 values in first matrix and 12 values in second matrix. But how it works, the first matrix goes to 1 to 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, then 9, 10, 11, 12. And the second matrix for multi-dimension, because it is divided into 2. So 4 cos 3 matrix divided into 2 different matrix, right? 2 different arrays. So again 2 means, then afterwards 4 cross 3, that means 12, 12 numbers are there in 4 cross 3. And afterwards it is divided, because the total size was 24, and the rest starts from 13, 14, 15, 16, then 17, 19, 18, 19, 20, and 21 to 24. So the entire, you got 2 different arrays. The first one starting from 1 to 12, and second array starting from 13 to 24. This is like how you can define your multiple arrays in 2 different dimensions. So this is X, Y, and then Z coordinate, you can say, so that you get a multi-array dimensions, right? Same way, I think you can extract the values. Say first row, all the rows which you want to extract from column number 1 in the first dimensional array. So this is the way you can define and you can retrieve the data. Okay, and you got data frames. Data frames are just like dictionaries, actually, you did in your Python. So we have a data frame with the collection of various different types of data type, which begins with a regular bracket, and then you have a collections. So one is training, which is equals to an array, then comma pulse, then comma duration. So you got three different stages and three different values of three different attributes. Okay, training, pulse, and duration, and then you have a vector within that particular scenario. So the collection of so it's like dictionary, as you know, dictionaries, and even you can try to convert that data into JSON, XML, or something like that. So if you have a high-end data framework, so how to handle that data framework is like a concept of dictionaries, which you can try. And print your data framework, and you can find the summary also. The method is there for so it gives you the summary. Simply summary will give you minimum number, maximum number, median, mode, third quarter, maximum number out of the list. So I think you can try something like this, right? So you can print your tabular format data in the data frame. So it's like Excel, pandas in Python. So there you have a data frame. You convert your entire part of the data in the form of data frames, and then try to extract the summary. Summary means it gives you the statistical results on that, the basic statistical results. And if you want to access particular value, you can define, or either way, by using array format, or you can go with the you can fetching by the name of their attributes, or by using dollar with their attributes. So they'll give you the details on that basis. Okay. Fine. And factorization, factors, how you can find the factors. You have like demographies, like male or female, or music, like multiple options, rock, pop, classic, jazz, or training like strength or stamina or something like. So you can define the things in the case of factors. And jazz, rock, classic, pop, jazz, what is it all about? You can define with the way of factors, and you can pass on the vector within a factor part. So it is like add a vector as an argument to create a factor. Now factor means the first one, they'll try to create a factors means a kind of a columns, and the levels, the unique values out of it is like classic, you got jazz, you got rock and pop. So it means you can see from the result that the categories, you have big list of the categories, and you have a recursive data, multiple data, and repetitive data within the collection. So if I want to retrieve the unique values of that collection, I think you can use a factor part, and it gives you the four good categories. These are the total categories, the unique values out of it. Okay, so you have repetitive data like classic, you have jazz, pops, rock. I think pop is one time, but rock multiple, two times, jazz two times, classic two times, jazz in fact three times, one, then two, and then three. You got jazz three times. So you got a repetitive data in the collection. And if you want to retrieve a unique value, just try factor. They'll give you the list of the categories, sort of the levels. They try to talk about four levels of the categories, that is four levels. So they'll give you the unique values out of it. This is the way you can try. Right? Oh, access how many libraries or levels. So I think you can figure out. And then even you can paste positioning something. So try, I believe these are the good way to handle the data within R language, then go for plotting with R language. And you have a statistical methods like, mean, max min or mean we have to calculate in first question. So we can try on that. Just give me a minute. All right. So hope this concept is quite helpful to all. So I think, can you try? Can you start working on it?
Yes, sir.
I think I'll just give you a quick start, the way how to handle with these all things, and further I believe you can write or create your own code, and I think you can practice. Probably means it's not difficult, but at least you got some idea that how to deal with these kind of things, right? And try to create a code, proper code for all the questions. So today actually, as per the guidelines, but I don't know whether you can do it by today or not, but at least I think you can do at least first 4 sections, because you're starting first time, right? And at least try to complete the session 1 to 4, and the simple questions are there. It means how many questions? Oh, okay, they have many questions are there, in fact. Okay, 17 questions they have given you in session 1 to 4. So first 17 questions are there in session number 1 to session number 4. And today I think we are supposed to do how many sessions as per the, give me a minute, let me check. Today we are supposed to do first 6 sessions. So means we have to do these as well. 18 to okay, we have to do first 25 questions till today. I don't know how you will do this, uh, because it's already 12, and probably you will take some break also, and because you're starting first time, how to deal with these kind of questions. uh, Practically I think then, at least what I prefer, complete W3 schools. Let's say you take another 1 hour 2 hours to complete at least W3 schools, so that you will be comfortable with the syntax and the method of W3 schools for our language. And once you are comfortable, then I think you can pick question by question, and then further you can try. I believe you will get the proper answer also. You can find one by one and try to create a code. The moment you will get a code, I think we can try some other way also. If today only we are to supposed to complete, let's say even you can use AI. If you can write your code, at least you will get something. Let's say we use a chat GPT something, or any other. I use temporary, I don't want to save it, so I'll use a temporary mode. Hmm, let me see if we can get something from AI using our language. Okay, I think you can try something like this. uh, Write a code for the following. I think you can try something like this and paste your question number 1. Already you did that, but at least you can define something like this. So finally the output would be something, this is the code. Simply you copy that code and go back to your R method. Let's say we'll open any platform, and I'll simply select and I'll remove that entire part and write a code something like this. So now you can try and understand. You have a length of there you have an array, the vector, how to display the vector, how to sum, how to go for a mean method, then max method, min method, a length method, then how to find a mean, then variance calculation, how to go with the variance, so the formula properly being mentioned, and then square root to that variance, because that comes into the square root part. And further, for standard deviation you can use it's a under root of this variance, so square root of the variance, and finally you will get the result of that. And further, whatever the values there, you can sort by using descending is equals to true. and finally we get the sorted value. Let's try this code. See, the results are there, and the wonderful code is ready to go with. So I think now you can do 25 questions, not a big deal for all of you. But what I prefer again, instead of going, this is one of the best solution you can try, but at least you should know the syntax. Now I think quite easy for you to understand the syntax, what they are writing, what is the meaning of all these things, right? And what are these methods all about? And I believe quite easy now for you. You can simply save this code with you, and let's say I already copied, and wherever I used to save this data, let's say it's there. And now uh, let's say session 1 Q1, right? uh, Code, if I'll go and I'll simply paste it and I'll save it. That's it. I think you can save your code for your reference later as well, and you can try anytime. You'll get a proper content with the comments and using our language, and you can solve this question. So it's question 1. So I think now you can build your all 25 good questions, and quite easy at least for you to solve the problems. I think now you can do this. Can you do it today?
Yes, sir, we can do this.
है ना? Today till 4 o'clock we have to connect, right? I
Yes.
think still what I want to convey, at least you understand one by one thoroughly about this R language.
Yes.
Using, let's say, W3 schools. Please spend good time on this W3 school R language.
Right.
Statistical method, everything. Spend good time, and once it's done, then you take your practical session wise exercises, and at least you can able to handle. Then it's not difficult for you then later on, because then you are comfortable with our language. So means I really appreciate if you spend good time. Just today only, within the span of I think 6 hours, you will be more comfortable than even Python or similar like Python in our language as well, right?
Right.
So please try and start working your code and create your code.
Okay.
I think I'm online. I'll be
Yes.
online. If you want my support, please let me know. I'll come again and I'll solve the problems. But I think you start working practically. Even you are on roaming somewhere. You are on roaming and you are anywhere, and you don't have platform. I think you have mobile. So why don't you start working even on your mobile? Learn our language thoroughly. So this is what I did through online only, without any login, without any credit card connectivity, without any downloads, without anything. Simple code, simple, at least you can hit and you can practice your R language. All right. So
Right.
everybody, please start working on it. I think I'll be back around. Means you start working. Still, you have any doubt? Please ping me on the message. I'll be online, and or you can unmute and convey if you're facing any challenge. Further, you can share your screen also, so that I can help you to solve the problems. So at least in a very short span of time, I tried to resolve your first initial way of our language, how to start and how to complete some good tasks, right? Create all
Okay.
25 questions, code ready with you, right?
Alright, sir.
By the day of end, means end of the day, like around 3:30 or so, I will check your codes, or I will cross check by 3:30 today that are you comfortable and things done smoothly or not. At least you will get a proper solutions on that, and then practice and just do it and learn it. I think you will be more comfortable, and I think you are ready for practicals or exams and all as well. That won't be difficult then for you. All right. I'm still online. I think now it's your turn to practice because this is more practical sessions. I gave you the initial spark how to start with our language because you are not aware how to deal with our language, but now I think you are quite comfortable. Please start working with our language, write your codes, and prepare your session 1 to session 6. Total 25 questions are there, which you are supposed to do in today's part. All right. And I think by 1:30 or so, if you have any doubt, I'll be there by 1:30 around and I'll ask you if you have any query, please let me know. Otherwise, by 3:30, I will check your details. One more thing, please do not log out because I think team would take your attendance. They are supposed to take the attendance, so please don't log out for till 4 o'clock at least. You should be online. All right. I'll
Right.
take some attendance part for the morning session. Muna, yes, there I got Radha, then many other are there. Okay. Ish. Fine. So, all the best. Now, start your job. It's your practical time and complete your practicals. In case you face any inconvenience, please let me know. Right? Thank you. Please go ahead now. Yes, good afternoon, Abhishek. कुछ पूछ रहे थे आप?
हाँ
Yes,
सर, गुड
Abhishek.
इवनिंग। मैं कह रहा था, मैं आपको कुछ प्रोग्राम्स दिखाना चाह रहा था।
हाँ जी.
आई वांटेड टू शो यू सम प्रोग्राम्स।
हाँ, please. I'll just stop sharing so that you can
जस्ट अ
continue.
मिनट, जस्ट
Yes.
गिव मी 1 मिनट।
बाकियों ने भी सबने कर लिया ना? आई होप सबका हो गया होगा अभी प्रैक्टिकल्स. Everybody completed their part.
सो आई एम गोइंग टू प्रेजेंट।
हाँ, please share it. Abhishek, I'm waiting. No problem.
आई हैव कॉपीड देम इन द वर्ड, क्वेश्चन बाय क्वेश्चन,
Okay.
सो दैट आई कैन सबमिट इट आल्सो ऑनलाइन।
हाँ, wonderful. Good. Question 1. Okay, that's good. And you
क्रिएट
got a result also. Fine. I think you keep your code separate instead of taking a lot of images now. Otherwise, it is difficult for you to keep all those images. The size would increase actually. So better
हाँ
you
डेफिनेटली, बट
keep
दे आर,
the
बट यस
code
यस
separately in the text format. Keep the code in the
यस।
text format and output you can take a screenshot. That would
ओके
be good
ओके
to go. है ना? In that case,
ओके
you can reduce the memory and again the content is with you.
okay,
But
but
rest is fine.
actually what happens that last time also I submitted it like that only.
Uh-huh.
And in the first semester I submitted like you said, that the code was in the text material and the screenshot of the output was there.
Huh.
last time I did submit it like this only. And one thing more I wanted to tell you that the space they are giving us is more enough for this submission.
Okay, that's fine. Otherwise,
So this is the display vector for sum of vector x equal to sum x, then mean of mean underscore x, mean
yeah,
x,
fine.
maximum value x, and
Max,
minimum
min,
x.
good.
So this
Length.
is the two shots of the program,
Okay.
and then there is a third short. Last
Then
57 lines
variance.
are there,
And
and then this is the first line that this is the sum, this is the mean, this is the standard deviation, variance, and all these values are there.
good, good. That's wonderful.
But I will try to write the code in the text material also, just as you said, in a very
You
quick.
just keep the code at least with you, na? That would be
Yes,
really helpful to remember,
yes,
because sometimes the length of the code is very high and you need to take a lot of images. So that would be really,
yes.
difficult to manage and even to submit somewhere. So that would be again a difficult task.
Definitely. So this is
Rest
a
otherwise,
vector of
it's
first
fine.
50 even numbers from 2
Hmm.
to and so on, and 30 values down from in reverse order. So
Okay.
even number from 2 to 100, so 2, 4, 6, 8 up to 100, they are going 50 values.
Okay.
And then next one, there's 30, 29, 28 up to 1. There's descending numbers is sequence 30 to 1 by equal to -1. That means
Hmm.
it will be reduced by -1 every time, and it will
Good.
display the descending numbers.
Very good.
Then we see create a vector of size 10 with the fifth and the seventh values are missing, and use the NA to find the locations. So see here that x equal to C 1, 2, 3, 4, then NA and this NS. Fifth and
Hmm.
seventh values are missing, and displaying the vector and locations of the missing values. So it is given that after it is telling that which is, this is fifth and seventh. So last question, that is the 11th line, is telling which is vector. So it is the fifth and the seventh values are missing. Here and the fifth and seventh is not telling NA.
Good.
And then locations of the missing values is false, false, and true, false, whatever it is.
Good. Very good.
Then the fourth vector, this is a character vector. This sentence itself is divided into 5 parts as a vector, and we have to indicate the index values. So this is the program here. I can just increase the size.
Hmm.
So this is a character vector. 2 is the match here.
Hmm.
2 is answer that index value of is. So
Okay.
first and
Okay.
second.
That's
So
fine.
index value of is 2.
Two. Perfect.
Yes. Then fifth one, it is an example given to us for creating a 7-point scale. It is a 5-point scale given to us. We have to create a 7-point scale of feedback, like very good, excellent, somewhat good, like that. And then we have to submit the average of the feedback. So this is the program. You can see bad, somewhat bad, not good, okay, good, very good, excellent. This is the
Hmm.
feedback scale. It scores 1 to 7. Student feedback, good, very good, okay, excellent, good. This is the student feedback scores, and this result output is good, very good, okay, excellent, and good. 5, 6, 4, 7, 5. Because some students may not opt for every our option that is given, like bad or somewhat bad. Some may not opt for it. That's why the output is missing those values.
Hmm. Good.
Then create 2 strings and concatenate them. So their string is simple hello and word, and we have pasted it result as hello word. That's concatenation of here.
Good.
Then there's a seventh question. The long string of words separated by punctuation marks, and replace all the punctuation marks in the string using gsub and string name function. And
Hmm.
also find the number of words in the string without punctuation marks, and find the number of distinct words and its count if possible.
Hmm.
So their text was hello world. This is a sample string used for testing punctuation. Our programming is fun, easy, and powerful. This was the text. So we have given the program, and we can see that split screen. String split is there, clean text, words,
Hmm.
length, number of words, length words, number words, word table, table. And then we see that on the screen, you can just
Good.
see the result. Hello world, this is a sample string for testing
Got it.
punctuation, and A and easy for 1, 1, 1, then numbering is there. Then it was a question. The question is not here, I think. So it was finding a transpose of the matrix. The question has been hidden in the image. I will correct it later on. It was finding a transpose of the matrix. So the matrix is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 row wise, and then we have put transpose TA. So TA is the command for here. It you can understand that TA means transpose of matrix. So we can see that the first row becomes the first column, second row becomes the second column, and third row becomes the third column. So 1, 4, 7 is column wise. In the second transpose matrix, is written row wise.
Right.
So this is the transpose. Then we have to find the inverse of the matrix. 4, 7, 2, 6 is the matrix. It is a 2 by 2 matrix taken. And we know that the determinant of A is 4, 6 are 24 minus 7 to the 14. 24 minus 14 is 10. And divide the adjoint of this matrix, that is the will get the inverse. So now the adjoint of the 2 by 2 matrix is the principal diagonal elements must be interchanged and a minus sign we put in the remaining elements. So there is a 4, 7, 2, 6. So you can see that on the off diagonal, you can see minus sign there. And the 6 and 4 have interchanged its position, and that will come to the adjoint. And when we will divide by the determinant 10, you will get 0.6, 0.7, 0.2, 0.4. So this is the inverse of the A matrix.
Fine.
So create two matrices of 5 by 5 using R and add, subtract, multiply these two matrices. So we have created the matrices, as you can see on the output, 15, 18, 5, 7, 14. This is the first matrix. And again 15, 9, 5, 1, 16. This is the second matrix. In the first case, we have added them. So see 15 plus 15, 30. 19 plus 10, 29. 14 plus 7, 27. 14 plus 13 is 27. 3 plus 7 is 10. And 10 plus 9 is 19. So similarly, all the columns have been added. In the second, second one, you can see 15 minus 15, 0. That their subtraction is there. And the remaining part comes here. Then there is a multiplication here. This is addition. This is subtraction. 0, 9, 0, 6 subtraction. And this 645, 420, 622, 622. This is all multiplication of A and B. That is done by row by column.
Good.
Then create a list of factors and find the occurrences of each factor in the list. So the factors are here: fruits name, apple, mango, banana, apple, orange, banana, like that. And display the factor list, so you can see that displays are there.
Repetitions.
And occurrences of each factor. So apple comes 3 times, banana comes 3 times, mango comes 2 times, and orange comes 2 times.
Good.
And then there is a matrix 1 question. It was there, eigenvalues and eigenvectors. We have to find out the matrix. That question is here. The matrix was 4, 2, 2, 2, 5, 1, and 2, 1, 3. So eigenvalues are 7 point something, 3.13, and 1.35. How can we say that these are the correct eigenvalues? We can add all these eigenvalues, and this will be equal to the trace of the matrix, that is the principal diagonal elements. You can see that 5 plus 4, 9 plus 3 is 12. If you add 7.50 something, 3.135 and 1. You will get 12. Because 7 plus 3, 10 plus 1, 11, 11.5 and 0.3 and 0.4, this becomes 12, so it becomes 12. So these are the correct eigenvalues. And then we have to find the eigenvectors. So eigenvectors are this matrix tells you the eigenvectors. So each value is having 3 vectors. So first value 7.504664 has this eigenvector. 3.13539 has this vector. And this 1.35 has this vector. So this is the eigenvalues and eigenvectors.
Okay, good.
And then write the function to find the largest and smallest values in the dimensional array of 3 by 3. And see here that we have done function array, minimum value, minimum array, maximum value, maximum array, return list, minimum value, maximum value. My array is 1 to 27. Dimensions are 3, 3, 3. So my array result find max and min max in my array. So this is the we can see that 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, 3, 6, 9. Then this is a 3 by 3 matrix, and this minimum is there. Each value minimum is represented by. Then this question I was doing, that consider a state-wise list of income of few persons using factor function, frequency division of income into 5 factor classes. 10,000, 50,000, and like that. So you can see that I was just Copying that one, I've done this one. Amit, Priya, Rohit, these are the names I've taken. States I've taken Uttarakhand, Maharashtra, Delhi, Uttarakhand, and these are the incomes. So this will come output like this. The program is incomplete as it is still to be copied from there, but from the program is compiler. But this is the result what I've done. The first name is column is name, second is the state, third is income, and next is the income category.
Very good. Very, very good.
So
So
till now I've done
you just
only
covered,
this
I
one.
think, first 16 questions, right?
Sir, but I have eighth question I have not done. It was taking time, and the rest remaining questions, the next class, what will be happening on 30 or 31st, I will show you the remaining, and I
No
will.
problem. No problem. Next, whenever we'll have a session. So meanwhile, you can able to complete your rest of the question. That is fine. But now I think you got a rhythm and you are still working it. So that's really
Yes, sir, I found that it is just
ah,
easier than C++. It is similar to Python and quite easy.
exactly. So I think it's quite comfortable for all of you.
Yes.
Great. Very good, Abhishek ji. That's wonderful. And I really appreciate. What about others? Yes, others
So
also did well.
I may discontinue, stop my
Please,
presentation.
please. Thank you, Abhishek.
Okay, thank you, sir.
That's wonderful. I really appreciate that you completed your at least the first session of 16 questions, and then I think only the second part of that session is left. So that's okay. I think you are doing well. And
Actually, first I was connected from mobile, but later on I had to connect from my this laptop. That's why my attendance will be not showing this time. Only just name.
no problem.
Just
I think if you place your attendance earlier or you just give it right away, I'll add it.
I had given in the morning also.
Morning naha, so it is there already there. Then
Okay,
you
sir.
need not to
Okay, sir.
worry
Thank
about it. Already, if it is there, so it's already listed. Shivam, last was Shivam. Good. So I think now it's quite easy for all of you to process your practicals, and you can complete your all the practicals. There are one more 17 total questions are there in your session 1 to 4, and from 18 to 25 in session 5 to session 6. So I think once we'll connect in the next session, before next session, I think everybody should complete these questions, right? And still you face any inconvenience, so let me know, we'll work out. Next class, we are supposed to do something more in detail, because there we'll find more records. Let's say we'll talk about the big, at least some good data set. And according to question number 26, it says that we have a fictional data, and with the 10,000 rows of the data, and further you have to handle that data and you have to work out on it. So for that, how to proceed and how to calculate a lot of you have to apply a lot of algorithms and analytical methods. And let's say we'll try to identify what technically we can do more onto it. We need to apply some more algorithms like random forest, then SVM, k-mean algorithms, right? So descriptive analysis and at least classifications. You can try some regression algorithms for more in depth on some collection of data, in case if you have.
This K-mean algorithm at clustering was in the previous semester, as well as it is also in this semester in the this.
Clustering is actually for the list, once you have unstructured data, then only we used to do the
Yes,
clustering.
Yes.
At least first of all, if you have a data in like an Excel sheet sort of, then we generally use classifications or regressions,
Yes. So
right?
in the previous semester and this semester we have the theory also, but
Okay,
programming is in this semester. In the last
okay,
semester we had only theory questions were based on
okay, okay, good. So I think if you are already through with the theory, now this time you try to do some practicals. My only
it.
challenge, I feel like, I don't know how can we upload on this W3 schools that you have to upload because the data is somewhere in Kaggle. So otherwise, next time what we'll do it within the Kaggle. Kaggle is also one of the another layer from where we can extract the data set. Or I recommend if you can somehow download your Python in Docker with R language so that you have your data and further you can do a lot of implementation on R, right?
One thing
So
I
for
wanted to
basic
ask you.
coding, R, I think W3 schools platform is quite good to go. But I really recommend if you want to do a more in advance and high data set and do some manual experiments, then try to install your own IDE, right? So Docker is best. I think you can try Docker and R language using Jupyter. I think that's always good to go. You can try that one and download a Docker image. And meanwhile, also you need to learn Docker because how Docker works, that is also important to learn. If you can go through, that would be really helpful to all of you. All right. So thank you all. Thank you and see you in the next session. Hope you enjoyed.
One thing I wanted to ask you, sir.
Please.
Uh, just as we see that there are a lot of softwares to be downloaded, so what is the condition of the laptop we should have?
That already I answered actually, but I'll repeat again.
Okay.
See, if you have at least 16 GB RAM, processor
Okay.
i3, i5, i7, any Ryzen, that is okay, good to go. But at
Okay.
least you need a RAM of at least 16 GB. That is really beneficial. In
Okay.
case if you have less than that, let's say 8
Okay.
GB, but at least
Okay.
8 GB is important. It's really
Okay.
minimal amount of RAM is again 8 GB. So you
Okay.
keep, if you have 8 GB, that is also fine. You can use Docker in that case. But if
Okay.
you have a 16 GB, then even you can use Docker or you can use even a virtual box and you can make a separate VM virtual machines
Okay.
which you can run over there. So that
Okay.
is perfectly fine. Processor is
Okay.
okay. Hard
Okay.
disk recommended if it is NVMe, that is really good. If it is
Okay.
not, if it is SATA or HDD, SATA is again better. You can even work on it. That's not a problem,
Okay.
right? So we need
Right.
more RAM because this is more processing intensive.
Yes.
So we need more RAM
Definitely.
into it. And processing doesn't mean that we need GPU or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So simple processor is also fine. Only the gap is like in fraction of seconds or sometimes a minute or so, depending upon query and your data set, right?
Okay.
So that would
Right.
might take some time, but rest all is good to go.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
perfect, perfect. So all the best. See you in the next session then. Take care. God bless to all.
Okay, sir.
Bye
Good
bye.
night, sir.
थैंक यू सर।
Welcome.
थैंक यू सर।
सर आपका नंबर मिलेगा क्या? और यहाँ पे चैट पे कुछ क्वेरी हो तो कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं।
Okay, okay, I'll give you my
एक
number.
ग्रुप भी है उसमें ऐड कर देंगे।
Please, you can, if possible, you can add me in that group. My number is 9811485729, and my name is Dr. Anup Girdhar. I just mentioned it on the chat, so you can find out. This is my WhatsApp number. You can drop me the message or add me in the group if you can. Okay, ji. All the best. Take care. Bye bye. Take care.
थैंक यू सर।